Hello YouTube, today I'll be telling you how to take care of your decks, if the white decks and black decks. So I'll be telling them both, and I'll start with the white decks. And now the white decks, some of them or all of them also goes with the black decks. Okay, so white decks, actually I recommend them better than black decks, but yeah, let's get on to it. Okay, so to take care of the decks, I mean by like making it last longer and so that they won't get damaged that much. So how to make them last longer is first, do not bend them too much. Don't do too much springs, or don't do too much like riffle shuffles or anything that involves bending the cards. And don't like palming or like doing those stuff where you bend the cards in the back. Don't do that to your cards unless like they're bad cards and you want to do it for those manipulating and bending cards, then you can. But to make your deck last longer, the first thing is to not bend them, and the second thing is to not get your hands dirty when you use it. So you have to wash your hands first, because like first your deck will get dirty, so that will make your deck look bad, and that's not good. So you have to wash your hands and make sure your hands aren't sweaty, because if it's sweaty, then your deck, that will cause your deck to clump. So if it clumps, then it will be the condition will be bad. So make sure your hands don't get sweaty, but if they do and you feel that like they're starting to clump, then just put them back in the box and just wait for an hour or a few hours. Then you can use it again. Wait until your hands to dry, and yeah, that's the second thing. And lastly, do not if you don't want your box to get damaged, don't take the deck out of the box and play with the cards like the deck, and leave the box in your pocket or somewhere in your bag, because that will cause it's weak, right? The box is weak if it has no cards inside, or only a few. Then it's gonna be mashed, it's gonna be squeezed, and it's gonna be broken. So that's one thing you shouldn't do. Don't put it in your bag if it's empty. And even if it's not empty, even if the deck is in the box, do not I don't recommend it, but you can do not put it in your pocket or in your bag, because that will cause those flaps or the edges to be bad, as you can see there and there, to go bad. But actually it's okay. But if you're buying an expensive deck, for example Illusionist decks or 311 decks, any custom deck, don't damage it, because they're expensive. But if you want to perform, then you can use the normal bicycle decks. I don't recommend you to use the custom decks, but you can. So the last thing is, do not perform with them with a special deck, because maybe the spectators, they will damage it. So when you perform the tricks, when you're using a deck of cards, you have to be careful when you choose a spectator. If you see the spectator are clumsy and all that, then don't show to them. Just do with someone careful. So for example, you ask the person to pick a card, and they pick this card, and they take the card, and then you say don't let me see it. Then he's gonna squeeze it out, all scared, he can't see it, and he's gonna squeeze it. Then don't let him get the cards, because they will bend it. And yeah, so don't perform with expensive decks. But if you want to use bicycle decks, it's okay, because they're cheap. So that's how to take care of white decks, but that also goes to black decks, and I'll get onto that later. So first, do not bend them. Second, make sure your hands are clean. And third, don't put the deck in your pocket or in your bag. And unless you're using card clips, I really recommend card clips, even though I don't have any. I'm gonna get them someday, so they'll protect the deck. And fourth, do not perform with expensive decks unless you want. Sometimes you can, or it's good for you to use expensive decks or custom decks, because they would attract attention. But yeah, okay, so now let's go to the black deck. So these steps will actually help you make the deck last longer. But yeah, okay, just to help the deck last longer. Okay, so the black decks, as y'all know, or if you don't know, then they do chip, so you can't prevent that from happening. So first, to stop them from chipping, do not do riffle shuffles like what I did just now, or do pharaoh shuffles too much, or spring them, because like if your hands like do like a lot of friction, like if you just like touch it like that or something, like, or if you dribble it, then the ink will come off in the edges. As you can see, this is chipping badly. See, it's chipping badly. So to prevent that, or to decrease the chipping, like to have less chipping, then don't do springs or dribbling, because like that will, like if you're pulling the deck like that, then the ink is gonna fall off. And don't do like ruffle shuffles or anything like that. No, but if you want to, it's okay. It's just it won't like make the deck like go bad or something. It just makes it looks bad. And second, as I said just now, the white decks, the rules also apply to the black decks. So don't bend them too much; they will get bad. But custom decks like Illusionist or C11, they're better actually than bicycle decks, because they don't get weak that fast. The bicycle decks, they get weak, and you can't find them, but this one I can still find it quite good. So like even if you bend them, they will still perform good nicely, but I don't recommend you to do that unless you're okay with the chipping and the deck going bad. And don't get your hands dirty, it's the same. And when you use cards, don't make sure your hands aren't wet, and like don't, like, you know, like if you do throwing the cards, don't use these cards, or just use the add card if you want, for fun, if you want to throw, because they will like make the edges like get bent. So don't do that. And yeah, okay, so, and don't bend it, and yeah, so like don't like palming or do something like these things, you know, they make the deck go bad. And also like if you like you don't need to always show it off to your friends or something. Like they will be like, oh, can I see, and then when they take it, then maybe they don't know, like some people who doesn't like cards, like they don't know that how much cards, like that they're expensive, they don't know that, then they will be like, they won't be careful, and maybe the cards go bent. Another thing that you should not do with cards or custom decks, like when you play cards, you know, you don't want others to see the cards, so you have to bend them like that. Don't do that unless you want to do that with like normal cards. It's okay. So when you want to do something bad, like, or something you need to practice with your deck, don't use custom decks. Just use like Talico decks or the cheap decks like Bicycle or B. Then it's okay if they get damaged, because like they're cheap. So like yeah, it's okay. So don't get your decks damaged. It's better if you don't, like, so you won't waste your money. And if you buy a rare deck that's like, or rare decks at $100 or $50 something, don't play with them around too much, because that will like decrease their life, of course. So if you use the decks like often, sometimes they get bad or sometimes they get good, because like they get weak and it's more slippery and like it's more comfortable to you. So it depends. And yeah, so when you also buy black decks, you have to know that they will last, like they will degrade faster than white decks, because they have like a significant amount of ink on it, so they get bad fast. But black decks look good. So yeah, okay, so thank you for watching. These are the steps so your deck won't like get bad that fast, and so they'll last longer. So please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.